Okay. What we're doing today is basically I'm going with a couple of things, and there's a couple of things I was trying to consider here. One of the things is my PowerPoint presentation, and within this PowerPoint presentation here, there's a couple of things I wanted to do. Okay, I really wanted to introduce, right? And in this, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that there's a clear cut understanding of how I want certain factors of what we're doing to be implemented. Okay, and what I mean by that is um, basically just come up with a concept, all right, and to encourage business funding, all right. I know that no matter what I do, no matter what anyone does, I don't care what type of company you have to get out there and market your business. You have to go out there and solicit donations and contributions, financial contributions, and these things have to be so entertaining that the fact that they is willing to pay for the information. Okay, now I have not got to the stage yet where I can do online sessions, everything like that, or get some guest speakers, which I have to pay. And of course, depending on the whole concept of what's going on, I'm able to get some type of strategy, okay, of people with all kinds of knowledge, right, that we can use in order to get things moving forward. Okay. Um, there's a lot of strategies out there, right, which I know. Okay, and the strategies that I know, whether they're beneficial or not, they may be beneficial to me, but they may not be beneficial to anyone else. Okay, so what it is that let me close this out. Okay, so what it is that I have a couple of videos that I wanted to look at, and within these videos, I wanted to make sure that there's understanding of the direction that I want my viewers to consider, right? So, what do I have to do, okay, to make these things possible, right? What I got to do to make these things possible, right? So, one of the things I noticed is the concept of, um, come up with some type of plan, right? And one of the plans that I have here actually it's more than one. It's a couple of them. Let's see. Have so many different motions. Okay, and it's this here. Okay, and the whole purpose of this is to gain a person's perspective of what I'm trying to do and how I'm going to accomplish that. Now, how I'm going to accomplish that, well, that's why I created this video. Okay, not only did I create this video, but also what I did is what I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Also, what I did was I'm creating this document right here. Okay, you probably can't really see it because it's written out. But what I have structured is what I'm going to do to encourage business funding. Okay, and I have A, B, C, and D. I'm going to write that out, and type it out, and put it out there so that you can actually see it. Okay, so again, this is it right here. You pretty can see it because the ink and the lighting, so that whatever situation is. But anyway, I'm gonna type it out and I'm gonna put it on the screen. Okay, these are gonna be steps, right? These are gonna be working steps that has to be taken in order for us to even test the theory of whether or not it will work or not. Okay, I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, but we have to start somewhere. Okay, we have to test the theory, and the theory is basically whether or not these things that I come up with will work. Okay, I noticed that I'm gonna start uh, some calls, right? And I'm going to set that up. Whereas that I'm going to be talking to some people, and I'm not. And of course, I'm going to be using. Where is it that I? Let me pause this right quick. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I've seen that we can actually use, right? And one of the things I noticed that is good is WebEx. Okay, and WebEx is a tool that when I was in the corporate sector, we used to communicate with multiple people, and this product is, you know, it's not. It's okay. It's they have the free. Um, they have the free part, right, where you don't have to pay anything, and also they have, depending on how many people you want to bring in, right, you have to pay for that. Okay, so right here I created a lot of different spaces and so that for my people, new hires, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have your whiteboards where you can write up different things, and you can display that and talk to people and set things up, and whatever the situation may be. Then you can call people, and then you can set up your teams, right? That you want to contact for any particular reasons. You have your contact, and you get your vids, right? Your vidcasts, right? Where you actually contacting people for whatever reason, okay, and you set these things up, and once you set them up, you get in touch with these individuals, and you tell them, hey, listen, we got a meeting this date, this date, this date, this date, okay, so you just click this, you create a space, you create your own space. I can say, marketing department, right, and I can start adding people, and then whatever apps I want to incur inside of this WebEx meeting, I want to show them. So like if I don't want to show multiple different things, so that I can do everything. I can set everything up and make sure that the people that I am actually working with, have access to those things so they can see them. So you can set all this up, right? So of course, you can add a website and all this like that, if you want, So you present your stuff, right? And then what you do, you basically, of course, you don't dry run it, but you kind of like try to create an atmosphere where you already have these things together. You're talking to a lot of different people. People know that you are people know that you are working, like I say, from home, whatever the situation is, and they can contact you right now. Then you can create your group, you can add contacts with them, so that when you set your calls, people will contact you based on those theories, okay, or those setups, right? So you can set it up where you're telling them, okay, all right, I'm here, right? I'm at home, working from home, and once they get that information, they can actually contact you based on your settings, right? All right, so this is that. So stay connected. All right, so okay, then you do all that, right? Okay, this says sign in, all this. I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay, so This is letting them know that, okay, I'm gonna stay connected to this date, which is a day I can extend that date, you know, as far as I want, right? You know what I'm saying? Whatever I want to do, you know, set a meeting, blah 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 blah. Um, and then you can, you know, in your list, you can say, okay, set about a day so that the people that you're gonna be talking to on that day, you know, whatever the situation is, you can set up for the work week, set up meetings for work week, and you know, you want to stay connected. Whatever, you can join in a meeting, start a WebEx meeting, all these different things that they have is viable to what you need to do to run your teams. Okay. This is a free tier, and there's actually a tier that you can pay for. Um, I had this a long time, so at this particular time, I don't even know if I'm still paying for it or not. It's irrelevant because you know, you need to have this. Okay. The next thing that I'm looking at is Teams, right? Microsoft Teams, right? And in Microsoft Teams, it's basically the same thing. It comes with the Microsoft Suite. Again, there is a pairing tier here, and you can actually go out there and you can request to speak to different people, talk to different people. It depends on you, what you want to do and how you want to set everything up. Okay, everything is up to you. And once you set this up, you know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You know, you meet and then you set it up. You start talking to people. Like I said, you can have a chat where you're talking to different individuals in the chat. You bring them on board. You know, it's all different types of things, right? Okay, so these are the things I use. All right, okay. That's in the business sense, okay. But for the sake of this this series here, basically what I'm doing, I am looking at a possibility, right? And the possibility that I'm looking at is basically what I want to do as far as what I want to do as far as marketing my products, okay, and marketing what I want to do, okay. So my first step is to gather up enough information and put together enough information so that people are willing to communicate with me. So my marketing strategy may be a 3-day course, right? Which, of course, I'm going to solicit people who would like to pay to listen to this course, right? So they get actively involved into what we're doing. These are marketing positions, right? And all these positions have terms, all right? And we have to all these different things, okay? We also have a lot of different factors in this too, which, you know, I'm not actually going to bring into this particular video, but these things have to be laid out, right? You have to lay out these things so that people know exactly what you're trying to do and why you're doing it. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so they must understand, okay, in order for me, if I'm going to be part of his business, right? These are the positions that are available, and you go back and you explain these positions, right, and the contributions, everything like that. Then you have to have a listed document, right, that actually spanned out exactly what they are entitled to if they become part of your team, okay? They have to know exactly what they are going to, you know, what they're going to, what the word I'm looking for, inherit by being a member of your team, right? You can't just say, okay, well, just come in and what I'll do, We'll work it out, whatever the situation is. You have to have a descriptive ideal, okay? What these individuals will benefit if they join your team, okay? All right. So if you do not have a descriptive ideal, okay, of what they are going to inherit if they, join your team, then what wind up happening is that everything falls apart. Okay, you understand that? Everything falls apart. So my business source right now is business funding. All right, that is where I am right now. Okay, what we're trying to do right now, we're trying to incorporate some type of, we're trying to incorporate some type of business funding for our organization. And through this, we want to ensure that the factors that I just described to you in my previous notes, okay, that there are things that need to be described. All right. So here in this particular Word document here that I'm putting together, I have to come up with what do I need to encourage business funding. All right, which I'm basically doing right here. Okay, I'm putting that document together, I have to write it out, then I'm gonna create the document, and it's gonna be intense, right? Because if you are soliciting funds from people, there's a tax code that has to go into place behind that, right? So you have to figure out that, right? There's a lot of different things you need to do, but we'll work through that once I put this package all together. Once I put the package all together, and then people have an idea exactly what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish by doing it at that particular time, people will start slowly coming aboard, but you have to keep the ball rolling, okay? You have to keep the ball rolling. People must be able to look at your organization and see that you mean business. You're trying to get things together, join our team, allow us to work with you in your company so that we have a unified effort to make sure that the finances or the funding we get, we can reinvest it into other businesses that are growing so they can reinvest back into the mother company or the parent company so that we can buy supplies, we can, purchase other businesses and things of that nature. Okay, those things have to happen. All right, but to this point here, I think that we are pretty much up to date in the direction we're going. We just need to come up with a strategy, which I'm developing right now. And as soon as I come with this strategy, well, I've finished putting together this strategy and I put it out here on YouTube. It may take me a couple of weeks to do it, but I will continue to do my other videos while I'm doing this. And hopefully by that time, I can encourage you to incorporate your company into the Shephard Family Enterprise Business Administration Information Systems Consultants unified effort so that we can get together and solicit other opportunities to companies that are coming aboard, that are growing into this network of AI, and we can work together to ensure that everyone accomplish their goals in business. Okay? All right. So thank you very much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next presentation. is your man, Nicholas Shepherd from the Shepherd Family Enterprise Business Administration and Information Systems Consultants. And today, what we're doing, we're trying to establish some information pertaining to my project management database. And what we wanted to do, or should I say, what I was creating, was some type of plan that would allow the Shepherd Family Enterprise to start doing business financing, okay, a line of credit, okay, and I wanted to do a little self brainstorming, okay, so that we will have a good baseline, okay, for what I'm trying to do, okay. Um, so type a lot of work, anything like that, because like I said, I've been up all night. Um, Okay, so what I'm going to do first is okay, I'm in my project management database now. Okay, and okay, first of all, let me go and establish what's going on. Okay, and I have to reiterate these things so that I can stay focused on what I'm actually trying to do. Okay, so in my document, okay, here, okay, my project management document. I was listening to a couple of things, okay, and again, like I said, I've been, you know, uh, going through some things and trying to make modifications to some of my project guidelines, okay, so that I can start helping individuals who may need assistance in creating some type of fundamental um, ideal, okay, no matter what it is. Okay, I'm not going to try to be specific in anything like that, but I just want to make sure that my baseline is going in the right direction. Okay, so I have some documents that I've created. Okay, and my first line of information in this whole process is when do I initiate this process? Okay, so what I've done was, um, and I need to start utilizing my project management database to start planning and structuring projects, set it up, okay, as I go. All right. So what I've done, okay, I created this audited records. Okay. Now the reason why I did this because when I want to create a project, go through the process of creating a project. First of all, I want to make sure there's funding, okay, available and time available for me to do it, okay, because I don't want to be doing things. I have got so advanced in this project management database system where now I need to start utilizing it as a tool to prepare for other projects that I'm working on or other tasks that I assign to myself or to others before I start working on them. So that not only am I using the Microsoft Word document, but I can actually go to my project management database and then make edits to the project as well as create the project, if that makes sense. Okay, so um, I will be able to create a project. All right, in order for me to do that, I will create a service request ticket. The service request ticket will be in line with me creating a project, right? A request, and then through this request, the development stage starts. Okay, so what happens that, of course, you have a customer number, you have uh, uh, a project number that has to be assigned, department, all these things have to be indicated so that when a person is actually trying to do something, task is basically set up based on the conditions or the manpower that particular department has. Okay, so this right here will indicate, okay, if they have like let's say they have 5 people, all right, working in that department, and they have to bring in some outside resources. First of all, they look to find out, is there funding for us to hire in someone, and there isn't any funding, all right, available. How can we go about um, getting funding, right, through whatever it means? If that makes sense. Okay. Once we have developed that and we have um, resolved those points, then we will start developing a plan how we going to go about accomplishing that project. All right. So first is going to go to development stage where um, I will go into the project management database, and after I create a ticket, the project numbers is created. We will assign persons to the project. Then we will create a budget. All right, and a timeline. All right, in which the project will be worked. All right. So all of this is in line because what I wanted to do was create some type of business funding effort. All right. And I want to task myself by utilizing the project management database to do it. Okay. I don't want to randomly start working on something without me utilizing the tool that I've created. Okay. So, what I have here to this point is, okay, we have the tool here. All right. And um, basically, what we'll do is, um, okay, we went to this record right here, okay, because like I say, audited records. We want to find out what products, what projects actually out there for us to begin. Now, what I've done was I created some queries based on some scenarios, all right, and what it is that I have to um, create queries so that whenever, and I'm gonna pull this up, okay, so that I can look at it in real time, form view. So give an example. If I was looking at this project here, okay, if I was looking at this project here, um, and I wanted to find out what I was working on, okay, like, okay, this estimated cost worksheet, and this estimated cost worksheet, what it would do is it'll pull up um, what what this particular project is costing us to work on it, right? I haven't finished this part yet because this button will generate another form, right? And the form will have a bunch of projects and costs and when this project started, if it's open, with phases in, all that stuff like that, okay? And then what is it costing us, all right, to keep this project open, all right? Okay, so we look at those things. So every day that we work on this project, or every day this project is open, is costing us money. All right, you know what I'm saying? To leave it open. So we either have to close the project or put it on hold. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, to stop the cost. All right, the project being open and no one's doing anything on it. Right, so we can put it on hold. Okay, and we can set different indicators based on that. All right. Um, so in our documents, okay, and here it says need to build administrative funding process. Need to build administrative. Okay. Okay. Need to build administrative funding process for new entrepreneurs trying to establish a line of business credit funding for use to create new customer base revenue. Okay, which that's what I'm trying to do, and create a PowerPoint slideshow to encourage new customers to invest in ideas established by the marketing department, right? And business funding, right? I got this business funding PDF. I got this bending funding PDF that I have, and PowerPoint presentation, and that also, and that's in the design phase as well. I haven't really finished it yet, but I can pull it up, right? So let me go ahead and pull it up. Let me put this on. Okay, so this is my business funding PowerPoint, and basically what it does is just gives an opening dialogue to what we're trying to do. And once I runs through this, it will list a group of steps, okay, that must be acquired, all right, before the funding will, you know, begin. Um, so these are the things that I would have to establish. I'm gonna try to bring on a person to work with me on this. I have a list of things that I have already put together. That have a list of things already put together that will. Let's see. And it has. Where is it? 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 Projects, customers, product scope. Donation campaign, project. Okay, here this right here. This 21. I thought, do I already have it up? Okay, here this right here. Okay. So this is the project funding, right? And like I said, there's a lot of different factors in this, right? Like I said, here I have not even started building the whole process yet, and that's where we are right here. Okay, so I'm going to list these steps so that I can have a breakdown of what's going on. All right, and once I've developed these steps and made it and make it to like a viable document that we can use. Like I said, this is historical records based on date of entry. We may have a list of projects that's being worked, right? Because what we're doing here, as you see, this is audited records, ADI, okay, and data investigation. We can look at it. Accounting section will come out here and they'll look at this and they will see exactly what we're working on, how long we've been working on it, okay, and the costs, right? All right, that we have, and then of course we will probably put a button in here that says generate totals, so we have an overview of what we want based on selection, right? But that's down the road, right? I don't want to make this too complicated right now, all right? Which is, I'm trying to get it to be an ease of use. If it's too complicated, then no one will use it. Period. Okay, they won't because there's too many functionalities in it, and it's not straightforward, and you really have to have training, okay, in order to work with this database. Okay. Okay, so that's where I'm right now. And again, I will have to pause this video, and then as I start progressing into it, then I will come up with another solution. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pause the video, work on it, and then I will start my video back up again. Okay. So what we have here is what I was looking at. This right here is audited records ADI. Okay. Data investigation, customer research, audit control form. And this is how we go about researching a particular record, right? And we push this button here, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to look behind and see exactly what to do because I don't want to update this thing, right? Um, to see exactly what this is, and then it gives me a breakdown on the cost, right? View record details, stuff like that, you know. So this is the project owner assigned to, then it's supposed to be the project EID number, you know, the sequence number, all right. We got the project number ID, right, and the project set number. Okay, the project set number is the year and the month the project was actually implemented, and then we assigned a number. Okay, numerical number. All right. Um, yeah, the project team member number ID. Okay, so each team member associated with this project will have to be assigned to this number, right? This number here will pull all the other factors back related to this project, and this right here, the count worksheet base ID, and this is how we go about tracing the cost, right? So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna go about doing that, how we go about looking at this and utilizing this payment ID to generate more information about this project and determine whether or not um, there's funding available. All right, because this number, once I push this in there, it's going to bring back the project and what the spendings are and everything that's based on this ID. All right. And this form here is where the project manager of this project, all right, like I say, this employee sequence number, this sequence number will be assigned to that project, okay, and through this number here, okay, that individual will be in, you know, being will be allocated funds, okay, to distribute out, um, you know, to the team. All right. Of course, you know, it depends on what the costs are, right? So you have the project number, you have the project manager phone number, email address, etc. Then they have their notes, and then resource name. The lead, you know, would be whoever the project lead is, resource lead, resource function, tell you that, and then the people that's on that team and what their job functions are. Okay. And then of course you have any delays or resolutions to certain incidents. Okay, you would do that as well. Okay. Um, then you have your comments, right? Project build project details. Look at this. All right, and this is here is where you start building your project. All right, after you are once you have received your project number, and then you start putting down the details of what you're trying to do and everything else, so that you can then start initiating these different tasks. Okay, you know, so you got task one, task two, you know, then it goes on to all the way through task 8. All right. Then you have different phases, right? You got phase 2. This is phase 1. You got phase 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. All right. Okay. And in this form here is where the manager will be approving it. Okay. And if the project is going to be worked, they approve it. And then once the project is approved, after they have went out and investigated and found out exactly what's going on, they would approve it. Then submit approval back to project build administrator, which will then start the project. Okay. Because what happens is that the project manager will look at the project and say, okay, what are the resources. Of course, you got to talk to the lead and find out exactly what's going on. Now, the account manager, the one that does this, all right, and not the project manager, the account manager. This is the finances, and they look at all the different aspects of the funding and what's going to be needed. Okay, and they will be allocating a budget. All right, for this project. All right. Here is another approval form. Okay, and this is after the project manager had decided that the section manager decided that well, all right, their funding is available for them to work on this project. Then they'll look at all these different factors here, because these individuals will have to approve everything before the project is initiated. Any one of these individuals did not approve it, then they will kick it back to find out exactly um, why it was not uh, initiated. Okay, so to get back with them and they'll talk to them, or is they just whatever the situation may be. But then here they'll click approve once they approve the project, and then it goes on to the next stage. Okay. Okay, and as you see here, you have the finance officer, right? Approval form, um, and it will tell them exactly what needs to be done. All right. Of course, the finance officer, he will go and look at exactly the funding for it. He'll go into their books and find out their accounting books and find out what's going on, why, whatever the situation may be. And of course, like I said, you have the bill part, reference bill number part, which we don't have right now. We just have this. So these sequences will be displayed as the project start coming down to its end, right? And then you get the series. Okay, you got Okay, so on that. Okay, so now after all of those situations, the account manager and everybody else will approve this. After they approve it, saying okay, we have the resources um, to work on this project, and then account manager, they will actually approve this as well. Okay, so all those factors have to be in place before we actually work on the project. Then they submit it back to the project build administrator, right, which will implement the project process. And here we have the project manager team assignments. Once the project has been approved, then what they would do, they'll start assigning the team to the project. Right? They have to find a project, assign the members to the project. They give it a group name, and the project will be monitored by the project, the manager of the team, of the account rather, and they would monitor exactly what's going on in the project. Okay. If they have to want to bring in have meetings, they can do that as well. All right. Okay, so that's about it. I still have a lot of documentation to design and flow charts, everything like that. I got a lot of different things to put together, documents before I can actually start working on this, because I want to make sure I follow these guidelines as if I'm tasking myself to do this. Okay, so I have to put this in order, make sure it's working, work it all the way through, and make sure that since I'm doing this project, I'm going to build it correctly and execute it. Okay, and then I'll start grabbing people. I already have some resources I'm thinking about bringing in, but I would do that. I was had to set the set the funding aside so that I can pay the person who's actually be helping me generate ideals. Okay, to get this program, up and running. Okay. Okay. Again, thank you very much. This is Nicholas Shepherd with Shephard Family Enterprise, Business Administration and Information Systems Corporation, and Shephard Enterprise L.L.C, Business Administration and Information System Consultants. And thank you very much for stopping by and going through this session with us.